Hello, everyone. I'm Dennis Ferrero with Kaiser University. We're here at Testimonial Tuesday with Christina Marcico Harvey. With Fashionality, correct?
Yes. Mhm.
We're excited to talk with her today. And then I want to remind everyone that we have our great lunch adventure. We're at the Bahama Breeze in Waterford Lakes. So we'll see you later today at Great Lunch Adventure Waterford Lakes at the Bahama Breeze. Christina, tell us about yourself and Fashionality.
So I grew up in Virginia. I have always had a love for fashion. My mom, my grandmother were huge into fashion. And it wasn't until about my mid 30s that I decided to get into the fashion industry. I went back to school for fashion design and merchandising. And during that time, I was working for a company called MetaFast, where I was helping women on their weight journey and they were losing weight. And I noticed I was kind of helping them figure out what to wear now that they have kind of lost their weight and what they need to wear. And so once I finished school, I said, you know what, I'm going to start my own business as a personal wardrobe stylist. And that's kind of how Fashionality came about, really just styling with a purpose and really helping women understand the fundamentals of fashion.
Okay. So the any specific tips on that, or something that you could generalize? Because I know we're all different,
Yeah.
but particularly your inspiration initially. So people that change body size and like any general tips for that as far as things they could look at.
Well, fashion is not just clothes. It's really a science. It's understanding, like I mentioned, the fundamentals of fashion. So understanding your body shape. So several women have different body shapes, from a pear to where they're smaller on top, a little bit heavier on the bottom, or you have someone who they call as a banana, which is kind of like a rectangle, or you have someone who's an hourglass. So understanding your body shape really helps you to understand which garments flatter your particular shape. Color is also very important as well. When you don't wear the right colors, that can make you look sick or tired, or just age you as well. So that's important. Quality brands, I really help my clients understand where to buy that really fits for them, because as we get older, we should really find those brands that really fit us and work well with us. But fit is so important as well. So really just kind of teaching them those fundamentals that really helps them. And that's what I do.
So, and then your training. So you said you went back to school for this. What did that look like, and what education and training do you bring to your expertise?
That's a great question. Well, I went back to school, like I mentioned, for fashion design merchandising, and I absolutely loved it. I just took a lot of classes that kind of, talked a little bit about more of the retail side of things, like merchandising, but it also gave me a little bit of training as well, as far as like styling. I was also worked for Cabby as their consultant, where I was kind of styling women as well. But I also went to the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week in 2013, which I actually got to really kind of see what the fashion side of it is in New York City. So that was really amazing. And I also worked for Macy's for 6 years. So that was amazing to really kind of get more experience with that, with working with women and just understanding. But I think I just have a gift with really just knowing what works with people and what doesn't, and what makes them feel good in it. Because when we look good, we feel good.
Good. And then you mentioned coloring, which I heard a whole news story on this, which I didn't even know this existed, but this is becoming increasingly popular. So for those who don't know, figuring out your colors and what that means, and then new trends with that as far as what you're seeing.
Yeah, color is huge. It is, like I said, it will make or break you. But it would really finding those colors that really highlight your face, really make you, look good. Yes, there's all about the cool and the cool colors, the warm colors. I can definitely help people with that as well, but that is so important, to understanding that. But yes, knowing your color is so key to not only representing, your brand, but also a power color, things like that. And as far as trends, I'm always keeping up with trends just from, going into retail stores to see what they have. I read a lot. I'm going on the news, find out what's going on, as far as fashion, things like that. So, and trying to implement that in with my clients, depending on if they're ones that really like to follow trends. Sometimes they don't like to follow trends. So that's not that important to them. But feeling stylish and comfortable and confident is.
So one thing men don't have to worry about is bra fitting. So generally, women have more challenges with fashion than men do, but particularly on the bra side.
Yes.
Tell us, what does it mean to be an expert fitter and what you do as far as that goes?
Yeah, so I am a bra fit expert. I went through some training with Walk Whole, which is a brand that actually trained me through Macy's. And that is so important. I was just talking to one of the ladies here that your bra is the hardest thing that works in your wardrobe. So sometimes that's the first thing I have to do is help women find the right bra. So what I do is I fit them, making sure that the band is correct, make sure the cup is fitting them right. Also getting them to understand their breast tissue, because every woman's breast is differently, but it's also very, very important to wear the right bra. It also affects your size, and it also affects the way your clothes lay on you. So that is a service that I provide for all of my clients.
Okay. So it brings up so many other questions, but as we're talking, I'm like, so so before we go on to other things,
yes,
how does someone get involved with you? I mean, they just set up a consultation. Do you offer classes? What exactly do you do, and how does somebody work with you?
Yeah, so I get a lot of my clients through my website, but I have a website, I have Facebook, I have Instagram, but they will make an appointment, and depending on what their needs are, because I provide several different services, which we can talk about that too. So if they just, for example, if they're looking for Closet Refresh, I go to their home and really kind of help them create some functionality within their closet. And I'm just working with their clothes, not working with other things in the closet, but kind of setting their closet up for success. So putting things in order by season, by size, where their lifestyle is now. So, but that's how they typically meet with me. As far as doing like classes or training, I do that as well. I do a lot of events. I've done some training as well with real estate agents. Sometimes they'll have the office will have me come in and talk about how dressing professionally is so important, and it affects productivity. Can't even talk. So we will definitely. I do a lot of that as well.
So I work at Kaiser University. We didn't get the chance to talk much before we got on the air. So have you worked with different colleges, universities, or high schools and students? Have you done that?
A little bit. Okay. I did something at Valencia Community College. They had a fashion show, and I talked to them about professional wear. Earlier this year, I went to the Boys and Girls Club, and that was really a lot of fun. I mean, they were a lot younger, but just talking to them about, what that looks like, professional wear. They're not quite ready for it yet, but just kind of what that looks like. Let's see, I haven't done, that's about it as far as like schools and everything, but it's so important. Image is the first thing that people see, and it is very important. So
I'm just envisioning my closet at home. So I assume they clean before they get there. And you're getting into people's personal spaces in their clothes. So do you have that perception? You get there, it's like they've totally reorganized it. They think it's organized. Yeah. Do you have anyone that kind of butts heads with you? And also, in talking about what somebody wears, is very personal. So,
it is, and that's a great point that you bring up. That's why building that relationship with somebody is so important. Because you're right, I'm walking into a very intimate space, which is your bedroom or your closet. So having that relationship is very important. I try to tell my clients that don't worry about your closet, just leave it as is. I will get in there and we will work on it together, because if they get rid of a lot of things and then I walk in and I don't have a lot to work with. So I typically just say, leave it the way it is and we'll work on it together. As far as butting heads, I've never had a client that, I really like to work with them and talk to them, get them to understand. I mean, of course, they're the final say so and everything. So if they're kind of like, nah, this is something I want to hold on to, that's fine. But I just kind of guide them in that kind of thing. But I've never really had anybody that's like, no, I'm not wearing this, or no, I'm not letting this go, or, fight with me or anything like that. But you are right. It is very important to build that relationship, especially going into a sacred space, which is, like I said, a bedroom or just a closet, so.
I've even initially I didn't think I was going to buy like any shoes or clothing online. So we're all buying everything online. Can people buy things online? Because we're talking about like color and fits. Like you see something online, how do you envision that on you?
Yeah.
So what recommendations do you have for shopping online?
I do like my clients to reach out to me and let me know once I've met with them and understand them and their style and their needs to find out if that's going to be a good fit for them. I don't personally like to shop online because I'm one that really likes to have my client try on things, really talk about the garment, really make sure that we can tie that garment back into their wardrobe, not buying just impulsively. I like to always say we shop with a purpose and and a budget, and we're making smart choices as well. So I don't always suggest that, but if they do that, they do talk to me about what they purchase, so so we know.
And then now going out and shopping, well, a few things. So how do you assist them with shopping, and then other specific retailers you go to?
Yeah, so personal shopping is something that I offer to all of my clients. I also do personal shopping for men, which has been a popular service as well. But I just do personal shopping just for men. But for women, I do all of my other services. But for the woman, usually we just figure out what their needs are, where they want to, what they're looking for. We shop together, so we have a plan as to what we're looking for. Some of the retails I enjoy shopping at are usually Loft, White House Black Market, Macy's, but it also depends on their needs as well, because sometimes there's some shops that they're just not interested in going to, and then there's some shops or stores, that they really enjoy. Like there could be a client of mine that really loves the high end, so more of doing the Bloomingdale's, the Tory Burch, or Neiman Marcus, or things like that. So it really depends on the needs of the client.
It is my perception. It's funny. You said you do it specifically for men. I feel like it's easier for men. So is that perception correct, or what is your?
Actually, men are very easy to work with. It's the same thing, just kind of finding out what their needs are, what they're looking for. We do shop together. I always love having my clients shop with me, both men and women. But they're just a lot easier to find clothes for. They don't argue. They are really like, okay, this looks good, it feels good, let's get it.
So that's a note from my wife and my daughter. But along those lines, even for men, I've noticed they have different like fits and descriptions. So I've given up shopping for my wife, but with women, I have seen that. It's like, how do you know those different fits and descriptions? What do they mean, and what's best for you?
Is for the gentleman?
Well, for me personally, because I've stopped shopping for my wife, but. For gentlemen, but then the ladies, I've seen different descriptions too.
Yeah, it's just all about me understanding their body shape, getting them to understand. So if they're not with me, that they which I hope they always are, but if they're not shopping with me, that they understand, if they're an inverted triangle, what are the best tops that fit for them. So usually just by looking at them, I kind of have an idea what their body shape is, but like I said, I make sure that they understand that as well. And then that goes into making sure that they know their colors and their style. I mean, our style evolves so much from when we were like 20 to 40 to 50. So really helping them establish their style is also important.
So for the guys, I'm no longer a slim fit. So and that's with so slim to regular fit to, I'm trying to think of the different and no longer slim, athletic. So and then the other chunk, it's hard to find like regular fit.
It is, and that's for men usually finding those stores that really do fit their needs. Like I know Macy's has a lot of those styles and those fits that are easy for a lot of men, finding that versus maybe something like Bloomingdale's might not have all of that fit, but just finding those right stores that are a fit for them. Where do you typically shop? Now I'm asking you a question.
Who's doing the interview here?
Yeah.
I typically shop at Dillard's. As I pass the Men's Warehouse, I've done Men's Warehouse before, and Jose Banks before.
So those are great stores too. I mean, Dillard's is also a really great store for shopping for my ladies too, and gentlemen. So it's a matter of just finding that store that the clothes fit you well, So
I did see on the East Orlando Chamber website, we do have a Macy's coming to East Orlando. So
we do.
We used to be Macy's shoppers, but we're in Oviedo, so it's either like Altamont or Millennial, so it's hard to get to a Macy's.
That's going to be a smaller scale store. It's not a outlet or anything like that, but I'm excited to go in and probably see some people I used to work with there. But it's going to be a great store, so it'll be good to and they're going to have a men's section in there and shopping for women. It's just, like I said, it's just going to be a smaller scale store versus the bigger Macy's at Mall Millennia. Or Florida Mall.
So as a trend, do you see that? And that's the first time I'm seeing a smaller scale Macy's. Yeah. Are we going to be seeing more of that?
I think that's kind of something that they're dabbling in. So I think that's they want to explore that and see how it's going to work, because they just opened up one in Winter Garden too. So there's one in Winter Garden, and then now we have one in Waterford. So actually back in, I think last year, the CEO of Macy's, he retired now, but he came to Florida and was trying to see where the space was so they can start building this new concept. So, and Waterford was one of them. So,
So again, I feel like I'm all over the place here.
No, you're fine. It's okay.
So, with the closets, it's like we're talking about, it's like things they should keep, things they should get rid of. Do you talk about like organization or how to make better use of space, or how do you do that?
I talk about space. I talk about being organized. Some people like to have their clothes color coordinated. I don't necessarily do that. I keep them functional. So like I have my short sleeves together or my sleeveless shirts together, all my dresses together, that kind of thing. So I try to, like I say, have functionality within their closet. I do go through all their clothes and see if it's something that serves them. If it's something that they haven't worn in 10 years, are they going to wear it again? Maybe not. Or there's something that they have that the color's just not right for them, and they were like, oh, I thought this was going to work out for me. Well, it didn't, because the color's not right for them, or either the shape of the garment is not a good fit for them. So those are things that we weed out. And I also talked to them about other things like some things are not hanger worthy, where they need to be folded and put in a drawer, because sometimes the hangers can distort the shoulders of the garment. So things like that. So you
just opened up a whole nother question. So what is not hanger worthy?
Sometimes there are sweaters that do not need to be hung up, and just sometimes like a Chanel, not Chanel, but cashmere is something that should not be hung up. It should be folded. So just certain types of fabric need to be probably folded and put in a drawer. So that's kind of how I kind of do that. Or like sometimes t-shirts, I don't think they need to be hung up. I'll say, if it's a t-shirt that you just bum around and maybe fold it up and find a place in a drawer, and keep all your like really go-to stuff or your really nice stuff hanging in the closet.
So my questions are going all over the place. If you have a question for me, you're more than welcome.
Well, I can tell you a little bit about my services. Sure. So we touched on Closet Refresh, which is creating functionality within the closet, but I also provide the personal shopping, which we had talked about that a little bit as well. But another service I provide is wardrobe styling. And so what that is I'm actually going into your closet and creating new and fresh looks from your current wardrobe. There's a lot of women that they say, I have nothing to wear, but I get in there and I put outfits together that they didn't think to put together, using their accessories or putting different colors together, like navy and purple, or, just colors that they didn't think to put together, which creates much more outfit combinations. So that's that one. I also do travel styling as well, which was very popular during the summer because people were traveling. But basically, I help you pack your suitcase for your either vacation or your business trip or what have you by putting the outfits together based on where you're going, what the climate's going to be. So that's another one. And then we talked about the bra fitting, which is foundation fitting, where I help women find the right bra that fits them. That's a little bit, and I do events, so that's kind of all the packages that, or these services that I provide.
So what types of events do you do, and how do you work with those?
Sometimes, like I mentioned, I partner up with a real estate office and talk to their agents. I've also partnered with retail stores, so I've partnered with Loft. I'm actually doing an event on the 18th with Kendra Scott in Winter Park Village, kind of curating some outfits that pairing up with their jewelry. So just, collaborating with them and just kind of working with them, but also it's kind of people are learning a little, getting something from the event, learning a little bit, some kind of fashion workshop or what have you. And I also live in Avalon Park, so sometimes I'll rent out the clubhouse and do some events as well that they're learning, teaching, that kind of thing. So
So something you said earlier made me think about kids again. You said you work with mostly older people, but I think that the thing was I have nothing to wear just made me think of something my daughter would say.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that. You bring that up because I've actually worked with teenagers as well. I've had I actually just posted something on my social media about doing some working with teens about closet refresh or wardrobe styling, or they call it their fit. So, but yeah, helping them as well. I mean, as a teenager, you can't change their style. They're going to dress like those other kids at school, but you can also help guide them into finding things that do work or something that new that they didn't think about trying. So yes, I have worked with teens as well, which I think sometimes that works out well for them because sometimes they need a little guidance and what, like I said, not trying to change their style because you can't do that, but definitely kind of guiding them, and they appreciate that.
So the challenge with my daughter, she knows what she likes, but she doesn't like a lot more. So we spend a long time, and again, as her parents, we're like, "Oh, that looks beautiful." I don't like it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, their style is is changing a lot, and but I always tell parents if you change their style, then they're going to look different at school. So they have to almost kind of stay with what others are wearing. But there's things that you can do to tweak it a little bit differently. Like a lot of the young girls are wearing shirts that show their stomach. So, how can we make that a little different? Maybe adding, a little denim jacket, or how do we kind of make that so it's not just showing a stomach, so just tweaking it a little bit.
And then talking about kids, and again, because they might be going to different sizes every year, but even us, it's like, how do you manage all this on a budget? So it's like, which again, I know you have a business, we need to support your business and your livelihood, but how do we manage all of this on a budget?
It's trying to find, I guess the biggest thing is finding their needs, finding where they like to shop. We can definitely stay within a budget that they're looking for. I think once we kind of really know what they're looking for, what we need to add to their wardrobe, then we can figure out what our budget is. So like if I walk into a woman's closet and they're just needing, they want to focus on professional wear, but they've got tons of slacks or trousers and they really just need some tops. That gives me an idea of, okay, well, we just need to focus on getting some blouses and tops. So that kind of gets me an idea of where our budget is, where we need to stay, and also where we're shopping to. I also have relationships with some of the retailers as well. So sometimes they give my clients a discount for coming in. So like Loft works really well with me. Macy's works well. White House Black Market. So that helps out as well.
So you talked about professional dress. What Andrew would say with the chamber is I'm one of the few guys that show up in a shirt and tie. Yeah. So how has professional dress changed? What are the expectations for, let's say, business casual, business professional, and those things like that? And then the Chamber has a career expo coming out on August 22nd. How should they dress for something like that?
Well, I am a firm believer that you should always dress professionally. I don't care what anybody says. I really don't even like business casual. I know a lot of people love it. I love to dress professionally. I think image is so important. I have noticed that after the COVID, a lot of businesses have gone to that the business casual. I work with it, but I am a firm believer that, always looking and dressing the part and your business is so important. But I definitely, I help women, I kind of show them different ways and how to keep it business casual, but it's still a little bit professional. But it definitely has changed quite a bit. Even sometimes with, the networking events, I see a lot of people that are just so too casual, which I think they should stay business professional always.
So for us lay people, what is business professional?
Business professional is, a blazer, wearing slacks or trousers, a beautiful blouse, men, a nice tie or a button down. Always, including a jacket if you don't want to wear it the whole time, that's fine. Women wearing a nice dress with heels, keeping it professional.
So for the Career Expo, professional, but
yes,
you're always professional.
I am.
Okay.
I always dress, yes, because I am the walking billboard of my business. So I always try to be stylish. I'm always professional. So yes.
Okay. And then when we talk, so that's business professional. What's considered business casual? Yes.
Business casual can be sometimes just a nice blouse with, sometimes people do jeans with a blazer or a chino pant and just a nice top, not so much with a jacket or, or for you would be for men, just maybe a nice chino pant and just a button down that's more casual, not a dress shirt, things like that. So.
We could go through every stuff because the other thing I hear smart casual. I'm like, what's smart casual?
I know. That's another one too. Yeah.
So what is smart casual? We could go on with definitions the whole time.
Yes. There's also one. I think there was another one I saw. Resort casual. Yes, that's another one. Resort casual. Yeah, you could go on and on. I don't know. I say you dress the way you feel and the image that you want to portray. I always tell my clients, your clothes speak before you do. So you want to make sure you know what you want to say when you're picking out your clothes every morning. So, and no matter where you're going to, vacation or business or just meeting someone, it's important. It's important.
So So I told you I worked at Kaiser University. This is when I get to so now you can interview me. So I work in student services, but actually it's mostly career services. So I help our students find jobs. Okay. So with the professional dress, I've stuck with some specific colors for suits, for ties, for blouses, for scarves. So what is your advice as far as? I mean, we talked about people's colors. So how do you work into that professionally? What's appropriate for interview or career expo for colors?
I always say stick to either the 4 core colors, which is either brown, black, navy, or gray. So if someone's interviewing for a job, any of those 4 colors, I always suggest a suit, not so much a skirt, but it just depends on I always ask, what are they applying for, what company, that kind of thing, if they have a little background about the company. But I suggest those 4 core colors. And then for a blouse, it needs to be very subtle, but it needs to be a color that really looks good on them. So those are things that I would suggest, which I'm sure you probably mentioned, those 4 core colors, or even just a nice white blouse is also acceptable.
Yeah, I'm a fan of navy blue or gray or charcoal gray.
Yes, you are right on it. You are right on it.
There's applause in the audience.
Yes, you're right on it.
So, and then I'm not a fan of black because I feel like black is too formal. However, we have UCF here in Orlando, so you have the black and gold. So.
I always go with the navy. You can't go wrong with navy. I love navy. So, but well, good. Yeah. Well, thank you for your time today.
Thank you for your time. So, again, we're here with Christina with Fashionality. So how do we contact you?
Yes, so you can check me out on my website, which is www.fashion-ality.com, or you can find me on Instagram, which is fashionality_CM, or Facebook, which is My Fashionality. So yeah.
Are we going to see you at any chamber events coming up? Should we be on the lookout for you?
Yes, I think the expo I'll be there.
Okay, great.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Great. And that expo again is August 22nd. Then we have a busy day that day. We have the Day of Learning, we have the Career Expo and the Business Expo. So we'll see you at all three of those, and you can meet Christina there. And then don't forget, we're here at Bahama Breeze for the Great Lunch Adventure. So join us later today for that.
And I have one more thing I want to mention.
Yes.
I'm actually co-hosting an event with Kendra Scott in Winter Park Village. I will be co-hosting with another stylist, but we're talking about how to, we're putting outfits together from Loft's fall collection and pairing Kendra Scott's jewelry with it. But we'll be doing 2 raffles. So for a piece of Kendra Scott's jewelry, you'll be receiving 15% off all jewelry for the event. It's August 18th. From 2 to 5, and we will have Margie Dobson there, who will be doing lifestyle photos. So it's going to be an exciting event, and Loft is also going to raffle off a gift. They're going to donate a gift certificate to raffle off, excuse me. So
August 18th
from 2 to 5. And it's called Styled by Two because it's going to be myself and another stylist. And then, like I said, we have a photographer that will be doing lifestyle photos.
So is that on the chamber calendar?
It's going to be. We haven't got it yet, but it's going to be. Yes. Yes.
So great.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us again. And we look forward to seeing everyone later today at the Great Lunch Adventure at Bahama Breeze. Thank you, Christina.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure meeting you.